What's going on, guys? Blazing Dad here with Blazing Tech, and today we are going to be showing you how to do the 600-mile service on the 2020 Suzuki DR650. This procedure is going to be the same for any DR650 from 1996 up to present. What you are going to require in order to successfully do this job is 2.5 quarts of oil, an oil filter, a 17mm socket, an 8mm socket, hopefully some rags, hopefully something to catch your old oil in, and a drain plug.
Crush washer.
Alright, so step one in this procedure is to get to the mileage that you need to be. So we are at 595 miles. I'm going to round up to 600 miles or 1,000 kilometers. Second thing you need to do is get the engine nice and warm. It doesn't have to be smoking hot, but it needs to be warm at least to the touch. That way the oil that's in the engine gets nice and circulated. So hopefully warm oil is going to come out better and get out all the contaminants that are in the oil. Okay, now that we have a nice warm engine, we're going to go ahead and undo the oil filler, which is on top. Never been opened before, so it's hot and it's hard. Okay, step two. As you can see, we have an HTP or Happy Trails Products skid plate on this. Thanks to those guys engineering, there is a spot right down here with a 17mm drain plug on it, which we're going to be removing with our trusty Craftsman 17mm 3/8 socket. Okay, and as you can see, I've got some cardboard right here, and I've got my oil
Catch
all ready to go. Okay, so what you want to do is once it's broken free, you want to unscrew. Make sure you have your oil catch ready. Alright, so to ensure that we get every last drop of 600-mile oil out of there, I have straightened up the motorcycle so we can do that. And I have a block of wood that I'm going to place underneath the kickstand. There's no telling how long it's going to take to get all the oil out. Alright guys, while we are allowing all the residual oil to drop out, I'm going to be removing these three bolts right here off the oil filter cover. And for that, I'm going to be using an 8mm socket. Alright guys, in order to facilitate getting this bolt off, I'm going to be using an 8mm wrench, okay? Because I didn't want to remove the skid plate. I could have, but I just chose not to. Okay, and just be advised that when you are removing the bolts off this cover, oil will drip out, and I have a rag in there collecting that oil. Okay, now with that oil filter cover off, you can see that there's a spring in there, and that's the oil filter spring. You want to make sure that that stays on, just like so. Also, you need to make sure that your gasket, you've got a rubber O-ring. You want to make sure that that's intact. I'm going to be cleaning that off before putting the assembly back. Okay, now I am removing the old filter. And with the old filter out, I am cleaning the filter housing with this rag. Alright guys, so this was the original crush washer that was on the drain plug, and we had to get creative, and we needed to take the whole drain plug over to the neighbor who had a better vise than I do, and we were able to get the crush washer off. So you may have this problem if it's your first time. And then we've got the new crush washer, and we're going to go ahead and place it on, and I'm going to put it back on the engine, and I'm going to use the 17 millimeter to tighten it back up. Alright, we've now got the drain plug on, so we're ready for oil, but right before we do that, I'm going to take just a little bit of grease. I've cleaned off the oil filter cover, and I'm just going to grease this O-ring, and maybe next time we'll change it next time when we do the 5,000 mile service. So I'm just going to put just a thin film of grease around here. Alright guys, so this is our brand new factory filter, genuine Suzuki, part number is right there, and we're going to go ahead and place this in the bike, and this should fit into the O-ring, which I cleaned off. And then while applying pressure, and the spring is like so, I am going to install the cover back onto the bike. Okay, and when I'm aligning it up, you can feel that pressure from the spring right there. I'm just going to get this started. Okay, using the 8 millimeter, we're just tightening this to 7 foot-pounds, which is not very much at all. Alright guys, we are now ready for new oil. And on the case it says 2,300 milliliters, so that's 2.5 quarts approximately.
Alright everybody, after you fill up your Suzuki DR650 with oil, what you want to do is get it on a level surface, let it idle for about 2 minutes, and then you're going to want to go ahead and let it rest for another 30 seconds, and then check your sight glass. So as you can see here, you want to be somewhere between full and low, and you're going to choose that point at your discretion. And again, if you need to add some more oil, that's what you'll go ahead and have to do, and remove that guy right there and add some more oil.